So I'm doing today's review in black and white because I have this extreme makeup on because I'm going to a concert tonight, and also it's Susie Sue's birthday. And I started recording it in color, and then it was too intense, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dial it back. So here's black and white for you guys. Uh, Anyways, today's movies were a film noir and a war film, both of which had to do with World War II. The film noir was 1949's The Clay Pigeon, directed by Richard Fleischer and written by Carl Foreman, two very well-known filmmakers in the 50s and 60s whose career started in the B's, here in this case at RKO. The film starred married couple Bill Williams and Barbara Hale, as well as Richard Quine, who later became a director and did some of my favorite movies, including Bell, Book, and Candle. This film follows a veteran named Bill Fletcher, played by Bill Williams, who awakens in a hospital from a coma with amnesia, discovering that he has been charged with treason and murder. He escapes from the hospital, seeks out the wife of his friend, played by Barbara Hale, whom he later discovers is the widow of the man he supposedly killed. He then seeks out his other friend, Richard Quine, who he thinks will help him discover what really happened and find out who the real murderer was. Chaos ensues. It is a B picture. It is just over an hour. It's got twists and turns. It has an actress named Mariah, spelled the way my name is spelled. However, she is playing Japanese, and she is not Japanese. It does, however, co-star, what is his name? Richard Liu? Is that right? Richard Liu as a Japanese character, although I believe Richard Liu is actually Hawaiian. So they tried. And at least the other person was white playing Japanese, so they tried. It was an interesting film. It got really confusing towards the end, and it's hard to believe some of the things that happen in it. It's definitely one of those films where you really just have to go with it. But in the end, I really enjoyed it, and the chemistry between Bill Williams and Barbara Hale is undeniable. They were married, and actually Barbara Hale, according to Eddie Muller, spent 2 years trying to get him to marry her. So, way to go, Barbara Hale. The next film I watched was, and that's available on Watch TCM. It was Noir Alley's show today. The next film I watched was 1962's The Password is Courage. This was directed and written by Andrew L. Stone and produced by Andrew L. Stone and his wife, Virginia. They were two of the most prominent independent filmmakers of their time. This film is set in World War II prisoner of war camps, starring Dirk Bogarde as Charles Coward. He was a real person. These are based on his real memoirs, although the memoirs are somewhat contested today by several people whose fathers were also prisoners of war with Coward. It follows him from several different camps as he attempts to organize escapes. At one point, he is accidentally given the Iron Cross by the Germans when he's pretending to be a wounded German soldier. This also co-stars Alfred Lynch and Maria Perschy. It is a bit of a comedy, if you can imagine a comedy version of The Great Escape kind of thing, except it's very much about Dirk Bogarde's character. It's less about the other characters. It almost feels like an Ealing Studios comedy. It's not quite as comical as that, but because it's British, it has that British charming slapstick to it in moments. I wasn't bothered by the comedy, but I read several reviews that said that the lightness of the film made its serious topic feel not real. But I'd like to think that, like, as life or death as some of these situations are, humans tend to get through situations like that through humor. So there had to have been some jokes, and there's some jokes in The Great Escape too. So I don't know. Really great chemistry between the leads, Dirk Bogarde and Alfred Lynch. They kind of shoehorn in a romancy feel with Bogarde and Perschy at the end, but that was not really necessary, and doesn't quite work, especially knowing that Dirk Bogarde was indeed very much gay. And every film that you see him in where he has more chemistry with men, you're like, maybe if only he had been a star in a later era, he could have had all kinds of great films. He has all kinds of great films, though. Dirk Bogarde's one of my favorites. You should look up all of his movies, especially the ones he did in the 60s with Joseph Losey. They are strange. So this was The Password. Its password is Courage from 1962. It is also on Watch TCM, so you can watch both of these films on Watch TCM. And you can go home and listen to some Susie Sue music, Susie and the Banshees, good times, noodle salad. Have a good day.